Well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay By Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosile Bus Stop, Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Another wonderful Thursday afternoon to you, everyone. It is the 21st day of November 2024. Thank you and welcome once again to The Real Issues with me, Shelton Daniel, your host and producer, alongside our technical operator, Alton Jaquan Joseph. Our program airs weekdays from 12:30 until 2 p.m. on Real FM, the radio station that serves you on two frequencies, 91.3 for the north and 91.5 for the south. We also simulcast on MBC Television, channel 120 on the Flow Cable TV service. We are on Facebook Live and streaming live via YouTube as well. I hope you're having a good day so far. I hope it's set off nicely for you and that the rest of the day, from here onwards, you may be having lunch right now or taking a little break. How do you call that after the 6 hours? A siesta from sunrise to midday or thereabout. Whatever it is you are doing, be sure to be safe, to keep safe, to regard the safety of others. And if you're having lunch, watch those wrappers and those takeaway boxes and those paper cups and so on. How you dispose of them, that's all part of the safety and the beauty and the appeal and attractiveness of the country. I know sometimes I find that we focus too much on tourists and the impression that we're making on tourists and how it will be reported in Traveler magazine and in this. I believe we are just as important, but we have to demonstrate that ourselves, that we care about ourselves, that we care about our country. And by the way, tourism isn't something that we need to be dissing. You know, a lot of people believe that it's demeaning, that it speaks to an enslaved past, that we have to be, bearing waiters and trays to serve, visitors and all of that. There's so many countries that have built their development and their prosperity on tourism, and they don't look down on it. They don't feel that it is a means of us being looked down upon. Tourism, as I have said many times, is an export industry. So if we are trying to boost exports, it may surprise you to know tourism is an export industry. If you consider exports of something that is locally produced or locally developed, that you present or you submit or you trade to a foreign clientele so that they can pay you and you can earn from it. In other words, the money from the foreign clientele is important. The export and so on, because of the foreign currency and the foreign trade and the balance of trade and the balance of payments and all those things that matter to us. It's like the bananas. You put them in a box and you send them whether to the UK. Well, we were promised we would be going to France at some point. Never quite worked out, did it? I don't know if we're continuously on this, not stopping at all. He lied and he lied and he lied to us, because there seems to be a certain perverse delight in always saying somebody lied, he lied to you, he lied, and the continuing about the lie and so on. But a lot of the people who seem to derive that perverse delight in supposedly pointing out the lies of others, they end very well known for the truth. But I'm deviating, as I always do. What else is new? Tourism in this case is a place where we don't have to put anything on a ship. We don't have to put anything in a carton and to send it to the foreign clientele. And that is where it's unique. That is where it is special. That is where we must cherish it, etc., etc. Tourism is a situation where rather than us putting anything on a banana boat or in a carton or whatever, the dashing and so on to send it over there, the foreign clientele comes to us. So we're marketing our country, its beauty, its beaches, its scenery, its picturesque locations and so on, its sulfur spring, to a foreign clientele. But rather than us putting anything on a boat or in a box to send to the clientele comes here. So it is an export industry that is in fact bringing the clientele into the domestic space, where they don't only pay airfare, they whatever, but they come here to enjoy our goodies, to mingle with our people. And this thing about them staying only in the hotel, the all-inclusive concept and plan may mean that they spend more time in the hotel, but they do go out. No tourist can come here for 2 weeks and be satisfied to stay only in a hotel. They'll want to do a tour. They'll want to go somewhere and see something, whatever. At some point, if not all of them, some of them, the cruise visitors and so on, they must want to buy a hand of bananas. They must want to buy some little craft item, etc., etc. But it matters to our country. So let's not diss the tourism. It is very important. And plus the people who go into it, they build the hotels, they employ local construction, they do all of that. So let us value tourism. It is not spoken down in other countries that benefit from it, whether they be the Bahamas, whether they be the Dutch overseas territories, Aruba, Curacao, Bonaire, St. Martin, all of them. Barbados just over there, I can tell you they have really built and developed their countries on tourism. Now, I'm saying that for the people who, before I mention about the garbage in St. Lucia, messaging me, but Shelton, it's not only St. Lucia, New York, you should come there to see how much garbage and littering they have. Well, that's exactly the point. The people from New York and those places, when they get tired, when they get it up to the neck with the filth and the chaos of their countries, plus the winter, the cold, the congestion, all of that, and they want to come and chill out in St. Lucia, we better be prepared to give them something different. Give them something else. Give them something better. You know what little video clip I was watching this morning? Was it on TikTok? And I watched how clear the seawater is. And I know places in St. Lucia that at least it used to be like that. Which of us can forget Ascochon when you went down there? The beauty of that water, how clear and clean it was, right up there at Pigeon Island. You go there. I don't know if it still happens, but on a good day to go there, of course, I was beginning to get worried that the seafloor was becoming more stony and rocky, and your feet would hurt you because the sand, whatever, whether it was for mining or just the change of the currents and so on. There's so many other places that I would go to and I would really find it. Soufrière, even Soufrière down by the jetty. I was amazed. But that's a long time ago. We're talking about 30. I don't know if it still happens. Where you could go and you could see the bottom of the, of the water and so on by the jetty and so on. It was also clean. Soufrière is known for that. There are many areas around it and so on. And we want that so that they don't have to deal with the cloudy and turbid waters and the frigid and cold waters that before you go in and so on. They want warm water, water that's nice, water that's clear, water that's an experience in itself, So that's why I'm saying, let's not run and say, oh, they have these problems there too. They want to come here for a difference, that they can lie down on a beach and close their eyes and let the sun, shine on them in its warmth and change the color of their skin for the tan that they want and that sort of thing. So we have to look after the environment and look after the crime too. When they come and they promise them an unspoiled place, they want to be able, to lie down on the beach and not worry about somebody coming and facing a stone on their head so they can take their digital camera and this sort of thing. It's everywhere, but we want to make St. Lucia different so that they can escape from those things in their countries where they're from and come here for a better, more relaxing, more enjoyable, more rejuvenating experience. Would you believe I never intended to go that way? Folks, there's some people who don't know when it is that they're beaten, or even when they're beaten, I guess. Like they say, they have to do or say something pour tirer honte en zier. And so they realize that something that they tried didn't quite work out. The pride in them will not allow them to leave it alone and to move on. They have to try to take the same thing and try to recycle it and reintroduce it and say it in a different way, etc., etc. Philip Martinez is beaten. Philip Martinez is thoroughly discredited. And he is like a dinosaur that's extinct, but for some reason it has a little post-extinction consciousness or awareness or life in it, and it doesn't know, or it doesn't want to accept that it is extinct. So even after the fact of its extinction, it still convulses. It still tries to twitch and to make you believe it has some life or something in it. After all these months of grandstanding and showboating and posturing, this guy who strikes me as being an extremely bombastic person who wants to show like, he's got so much over somebody and the governments, and they better watch it, and they will be having sleepless nights. Martinez realizes this RICO lawsuit, if ever he filed it, that is going nowhere. So now it's a case of RICO lawsuit. He cannot bring himself to say that he's abandoned it or he's going to discontinue it. Oh, now he has taken all the information he has and he's passed it on to the U.S. Justice Department. So they will have to answer to the U.S. Justice Department. The U.S. Justice Department is not a court, paps. It is the judges and the magistrates of the United States, like anywhere else where they have this system of governance, this tripod of governance, the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary, who can pronounce on whether something is criminal or not, and who can decide what sanctions and sentences and fines that they can apply. Once you said or decided that you were going the way of a lawsuit, and not any kind of lawsuit, a special lawsuit, racketeering, influence, corrupt organization, it would have been for a court to decide whether the manner in which the CIPs of St. Kitts and Nevis, where you apparently had some problems, and the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis has had some very revealing, some very damning, some very not so nice things to say about Martinez. I don't know why you're bringing St. Lucia into your thing. You never had any business in St. Lucia. You never had any dealings in St. Lucia. You did not suffer any loss as a result of St. Lucia. What loss did you suffer from St. Lucia? You bring in St. Lucia into the thing. You bring in McClaudy Manuel as defendant. You grandstand and postured and showboated about how you're going to be naming other people like Ernest Hilaire and blah, 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 and all of this and so on. And so now you realize it's going nowhere. You very tamely say, oh, you've decided not to go ahead with a lawsuit. You've decided it was always a Justice Department matter. What else could it have been? Once it enters, as you said it did, once it enters the court process of the United States of America, it becomes a justice matter. I don't know what's this now about you giving Justice Department the files and this kind of thing. Did you ever have any files? I mean, what a waste of time and waste of space and waste of hearing, waste of eyes to view Martinez has been all throughout this whole thing. But we know it's not really Martinez, Some people believe they could have used Martinez with all his grandstanding to spook and frighten and intimidate the government of St. Lucia, from the Prime Minister to Ernest Hilaire to, McClaudy Manuel, who he still continues, Mr. McLeod, McLeod, knows the thing. That's a man who bristled because he said that, Ernest Hilaire, whoever was mispronouncing his name is Philippe, not Felipe and whatever. But I don't know, he can't seem to get the McLeod, despite hearing so many people. And I keep wondering about a guy who's been an American citizen for so long and in the United States. But this guy continues to have such a heavy continental European accent, it just is not easy on the air at all, other things about him, but I don't want to dwell upon those, superficial, surface, peripheral things about him. I mean, Martinez was definitely on a mission called Operation Extortion. The guy was trying to see if he could frighten, like I said, and spook the governments and so on, that he was going to do such damage to them at what he was going to put out, and Rico case that they would be glad to pay him money. In the case of St. Lucia, I think he was trying to get 9 million or whatever out of St. Lucia, despite the guy never having done business. Now we're hearing Dr. Terence Drew. Dr. Terence Drew, the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, saying this guy came into his office and had the audacity to tell him that he wants between 40 to 100 million US dollars to make this thing go away. In other words, now, the whole thing is, look, if it's justice that you want, if, as Martinez has been saying, it is the patrimony of the people that he's looking at, I don't know, where do you get the locus standi? Where do you get the legitimate interest to be caring so much about the welfare and the patrimony of the people of St. Lucia that the government is robbing them and Ernest Hilaire, and you want to make sure on the one hand it's the people you care about, on the other hand it's your pocket that you want to line. And I'm wondering, which one is it, Martinez? Which one is it? If you really care about the people of St. Lucia and the people of St. Kitts, you're going to go and demand, you're going to go and try to twist the arm of the government there for 40 to 100 million, which Dr. Drew said, if you look at this amount, it represents, 1/10 to 1/4, between 1/10 and 1/4 of the annual national budget of St. Kitts and Nevis, or is it the GDP, whatever that he's saying, the small country, small population. So now we know Martinez has been trying to shake down St. Kitts and Nevis for money, as he's trying to shake down. But from the time Ernest Hilaire made his statements and he came out with this CIP report, they realized that they're beaten. Now Alan Chasney, who had once said to hell with Martinez, is pretending that he's going to come out swinging again. Wasn't that the Alan Chasney who said he was going to initiate some court action, he was going to file some injunction, whatever, etc., etc.? Why doesn't he do that? Is it any coincidence that Martinez is out on Lisa Joseph's program on DBS on Tuesday, and the next day Alan Chasney is out about the amount of files that they give them and so on? Haven't all this question? This is what Chasney does. This thing which has been answered, the thing which has been debunked, he keeps endlessly recycling it. If you believe Ernest Hilaire is not providing the answers, man, go and file your own lawsuit. Martinez's RICO has collapsed. You're the leader of the opposition. You have the standing within the public will and space, within the constitution and the parliament and so on. Do something like that now, to force the release of information and documents that you feel they're not. He's still a same thing of a grandstanding at a press conference and coming that, this and that, and he's lying, and this lying theme that keeps coming. You should realize by now it ain't sticking. It ain't sticking with Philip J. Pierre and the people in his cabinet. If they misspeak, if they make some statement that, off the cuff and so on, like, when you're speaking extemporaneously, whatever, that sometimes you say things and it's not precisely what you meant to say or precisely how it meant to come out. This constant thing about lie, and they're lying to you and making a big deal. Okay, let us say for true, they lie. What turns on the lie? What is the great loss or damage? Of course, we don't want anybody to be lying, because if you're lying, it means, and you're lying deliberately and consciously, it means you're trying to hide something. And if you're trying to hide something, then what it is you're trying to hide. So we don't want them to lie. But that seems to be a theme of UWP, that if Philip J. Pierre comes out and he says, this year we have collected so much in VAT or whatever, and Alan Chasney finds out that it's $5 less or more than what he said, Alan comes and makes a big deal about the $5. He's lying. It's $1 million and $35. He told you it's $1,040. Sweating the small stuff, taking things that are really, really insignificant, as I love to say, the peccadillos, and try to make them like they're big major things, and he goes on and on and on. What turns on the lie that you allege? What turns on the lie that you say that they have spoken? You on that continuously. And it's the way Chasney tries to play on your mind because he believes that by sheer repetition, he can turn dross into gold. This is the alchemy of tenacity that Alan Chasney tries. He will try to turn base metal or dross into gold by sheer brainless repetition that adds nothing to the narrative or to the discussion. This is what I find. And so he's going to continue with this whole thing about the files, the amount of files. And in doing that, Chasney wants to give you the impression that when the CIP allocates files to Galaxy, that it's money they're giving Galaxy. A 1.5 billion, this is telling them, look, we are authorizing you to go out using the mechanisms and the instruments of the CIP to raise the funds that you need to finish this hotel, to add the dimensions that we have asked you to add, the villas and so on, and to do this and that and the other. That's what it's saying. Go out there, and these are the files or the shares that you can go out there and sell and market to raise funds. And if you give them more than what they would actually need, who says that they have to sell every single file? The files can be, for want of a better expression, returned. The files can be essentially said, okay, we can't do so much and so on. But I think the vast quantity of files was explaining that, look, because of the way things have become tough, the difficulty in attracting investors, all the constraints that they are, especially in the post period of the Ukraine war and the COVID and all those sorts of things, that rather than try to target strictly 100 people who will give you $10 million each, it is better to try to target 5,000 people who will each give you, $1 million or whatever it is each and so on. So you increase the number of files so that you are able to increase the pool of investors who may wish to invest less than how much money per file and so on, so that you can get the funding and the capital for the project. If at the end of the day you find that you are oversubscribed or you don't need 5,000 people, that 4,000 did or 3,000 did for what you want and so on, it's not to say it's money that came out of St. Lucia's coffers to give to Galaxy or to give to somebody else. Galaxy will get paid commission or whether it is based upon what they bring in, the investment that they bring in. If they don't bring it in, you're not going to pay them commission because nothing came in. The guy keeps pushing that line about how much billion dollars, and it's 100 billion. So, so he's planting it in your mind that Ernest Hille has given away 1.6 billion of St. Lucia's money. That Ernest Hille has committed some kind of fraud. And where's that money? You gave it to them so they can market. How can he have money when nothing has come in? They have not subscribed. They have not sold it. It has not been marketed. This is the kind of thing. And more, Alan Chasney is proving to us the absolute inveterate, unrelenting hatred that he has for Ernest Hille. It's like, I am going to destroy you, come hell or high water. And this is what is going on. If Ernest Hille had been involved in this fraud of the scale that Alan Chasney is talking about, my goodness me, Ernest Hille, I don't know, you must have some kind of devilishly cool and temperate and kind of equanimity for you to be so calm as you have been under this thing. To me, a man like you should be running scared. A man like you should be afraid to show your face. A man like you, when Philip JPI is going out and he tells you, Ernest, sub for me, I'm recommending to the Governor General to be Deputy Prime Minister or to be Acting Prime Minister. To me, Ernest, there's a man who says, no, Philip, I can't take this on, too much pressure, too much stress. The man takes on, his acting appointment as Prime Minister. The man is in the Parliament. The man is dealing with the tourism matters, investment matters, CIP matters. Ernest Hille has to be really, really, really the kind of no conscience sociopath for him to be a man who's embroiled in this kind of crookedness and fraud, and for him to maintain that calmness like that. Where does he get it from? Something ain't right with the man. Ernest Hille, if he can be so calm under that thing, it looks like this guy's passport to hell is already paid irrevocably, non-refundably, and so on. Time will tell. Or time will tell about the people who determined to destroy others, like they tried with this Tapion, Bannon land and so on, to try to show that Richard Frederick sold the land cheaper than it was, whether it was a hanky-panky with Renault through his daughter, or whether it was Richard pocketed the money. This thing went on and on and on and on and on and on like that. And that is what they're doing. They don't want to stop at all. Galaxy came here, you welcomed them here. Things you gave them, deals you made with them, concessions you gave them, authorizations, increasing the number of packs. There was nothing wrong with them. Nothing wrong. They were the finest things in sliced bread. You lose the government, all of a sudden, nothing about Galaxy is good. Galaxy is evil. And Ernest Hiller is part of the evil. And Galaxy this and Galaxy that. At least we know something is happening. What was happening with you? What about our lands that you gave away 1,000 acres of it, for 99 years at the cost of $1 per acre? I mean, does it get any more ridiculous than that? Playing fast and loose with the assets of the state as if it were yours? But now you want to come so sanctimoniously and pretend that, everybody else is a liar and a thief and a crook and that you were absolutely whistle perfect clean. What foolishness is that? Who you think you're fooling with this nonsense? How are you fooling with this? Well, maybe you could fool some people because it looks like people nowadays easy to fool. Anyway, let me just move on to something else, I doubt it. Galaxy put out, like I said, a statement. And to me, I have not heard it. Has anybody heard about a statement Galaxy put out? It says Caribbean Galaxy Real Estate has noted that copies of its commercial contracts with the government of St. Lucia has been posted online. Galaxy notes that for the last few months, it has been the subject of unfounded accusations and false claims. Galaxy has largely kept silent while these matters are dealt with in the courts and wishes to stay away from political banter. However, on this occasion, it is necessary that a detailed statement be made. Firstly, it is disappointing that a private commercial agreement signed with a sovereign authority or agency finds its way in the public domain. The agreement signed and agreed to by the government from, listen to that, folks. The agreement signed and agreed to by the government, and it ain't government of Canada you're talking about, you're talking about the government of St. Lucia from 2018. Who was in office in 2018, Messieurs? Who was the Minister for Finance? Who was the Minister responsible for CIP? Who was the Minister responsible for, investments and those sorts of things? From 2018, they're saying this agreement clearly stated that the agreement is to remain confidential. From 2018, Mr. Alan Chasney, you entered into agreement with Galaxy and you agreed that it would remain confidential. Anyway, commercial agreements are not public or international agreements and are safeguarded for business reasons, such as avoiding giving information to competitors and avoiding announcing business plans. An investor does not expect such behavior as it undermines investor confidence. Secondly, the increase in the number of shares or applications awarded to Galaxy was a matter discussed and contemplated with the government of St. Lucia in 2018. Since 2018, when Alan Chasney was the Galaxy, saying that they had discussed that down the line we may need an increase in the shares, whatever. But listen, I'm not put my own words. It was clearly stated in discussions that the estimated cost was on the basis of preliminary costings based on an initial scope. It is for the very reason that Clause 5F of the June 2018 agreement reads, quote, "Developers shall be entitled to increase the size of the hotel subject to Development Control Authority and CIU, which stands for Citizenship by Investment Unit approval, and in so doing, the number of rooms to such amount as the developer deems financially viable, and if developer does so, the number of qualifying investment units developer is permitted to sell shall be increased on a pro rata basis." Based upon the fact if at the end they decide or a decision is made to expand the hotel, expand the number of the files and shares are the same thing. That we will give you the authorization to sell more based upon the change in the scope of the hotel. Is that I told you yesterday? This same thing about cost overruns. This road, this government is always cost overruns. We used to hear that so much, but cost overruns never explained to you that the scope or the extent of the works had changed, had expanded. That in the initial budgeting and whatever and contract, we never included Twapiton Road. We never included, the Lafag to Myers Bridge Road, passing through the Brel, Roblo, and Montjac and so on. It's always cost overrun. Cost overrun that was done in a proper manner to the funding agency to explain that, look, you have mobilized and marshaled. Likewise, the Galaxy started and did, okay, see that we can add villas and condos and this kind of thing. We need more money to do all of that and so on. You know, so naturally you need more fundraising authorization, the files or shares. Making it sound like it's honestly like gave away St. Lucia's $1 billion+ to the people. I'll be with you for a commercial break, right now, Jaquan? Let's take it and I'm going to continue. Today, Terence Fenelon is not with us. Maybe it's a good thing because, you know, I feel strongly about this thing. You can believe it's because I'm a Labour fellow and I just want to think that. I feel very strongly about this thing. And I'm going to say so. We'll be back shortly.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The CDC opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosile Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with the Real Issues on this Thursday. And it being Thursday, let me remind you that although last week there was no program because not only was Richard Frederick out of state, but also because there was cricket, the penultimate T20 international match between the West Indies and England at the Beausejour Darren Sammy Cricket Ground. At the Darren Sammy Cricket Ground at Beausejour in Grosile was taking place. Eventually it got rained out, but you would have heard Honorable Richard Frederick on Monday calling this program to indicate that he is going to be present on Thursday, he and Albert Fregis. The following Thursday he has asked me and Albert to hold the fort for him, but tonight 8:30 on NBC television and of course Real FM, Facebook Live as well, that we will be having Can I Help You with Honorable Richard Frederick, and as expected, accompanied by Albert Fregis. And that makes me remember to say hi to Skinny, or Skinny's Chicken. Skinny, I passed by last night intending to stop very late for some chicken, but I pulled away. Your place is just too popular sometimes for me, Skinny. I mean, at the time that I pulled up and to see so many people there, I said, leave that alone. So I decided, to head home and have something else that I had standing by, but I really felt for some of your chicken. So folks, those of you who haven't done so as yet, you need to check out Skinny's Chicken at the corner of, is it Pena and Jeremy Street? Sometimes I just blank out, on the streets and so on. I normally do a good job with them, but we're talking about at the corner of Jeremy Street, just opposite from where the printry would have been and the new vendors booths and so on, along the CDC side there. I think you get the idea. Check them out, really, really good. I don't know if it's the late night that they come out, that there's a nighttime taste or a nighttime flavor, but great job, Skinny, okay, you and your people doing over there. Let me continue the Galaxy press release. It was expected, they say, and agreed with the previous government, that's the Alan Shastney government they're talking about, that there would be an increase, and the increase he's talking about is the increase in shares of files that can go out and market so that they can get funds to continue the hotel project that they are doing. They agreed, they're saying, if they lie, come out and say they lie, that they agreed that there would be an increase once approvals are given and to whatever amount Galaxy thinks needed to make the project financially viable. In other words, Galaxy, we're giving you all so much, but if later on you'll find you need more shares, more files and so on that you can sell and market under the CIP investment program so you can get more money, we're going to let you have it. Galaxy is saying that was an agreement that Alan Shastney had with them. Now, if Ernest Tilde is executing or implementing that agreement, it is a problem. It's a problem. There's a bubble, there's thief, there's lying. It goes on and on like that. When Galaxy met with the government in November 2021, in response to the government's request that the project be commenced immediately, 3 issues were raised by Galaxy. 1, that the scope and scale of the project has increased, and final approvals and costings were available. The Dreams Hotel would now be a 6-star development. Plans were to increase the rooms in the Zoetry Hotel and to increase the number of residences. That in the post-COVID-19 period, construction cost and supply chain issues had substantially increased the cost of any development. Is that news to any of us? Haven't we heard that after COVID, crisis skyrocketed for any number of reasons? Commissions and marketing costs have also increased. And the government indicated its intention to reduce the real estate minimum investment from $300,000 to $200,000. That would have affected Galaxy negatively and reduced its revenue. But the amount of money they get in per share and per file went down. The construction costs, the agents, what they were asking and so on. We know what happened after COVID, the increased costs we had to deal with in almost everything, including fuel costs that some people don't want to understand. They just want to matter about the fuel prices. When we were in power, the price per barrel was $68. Now they sell it at $16.50. They just don't want to understand that so many factors have changed apart from the price of the crude oil. They just don't want to understand that. They keep repeating the same thing over and over and over and over again and hoping that it will stick. These factors, I'm continuing the release above, led to a request for an increase in the number of shares and was in keeping with the July 2018 agreement. The agreement that Alan Shastney signed and oversaw and approved whatever with Galaxy. That is saying they asked for an increase in the shares. Fourthly, Galaxy sees itself as a partner in fostering the development of St. Lucia. Discussions are now ongoing with the government for approvals to allow Galaxy to accelerate its construction works at the Canal site. At present, the government has not approved for Galaxy to bring in its own capacity for concrete and other requirements. St. Lucia is presently experiencing a construction boom, which is causing delays with construction materials and lack of expert labor. Galaxy hopes that the government will give support for it to complete the project as quickly as possible. Galaxy is saying they want to bring in, if it's more workers, this, that, and the other. The government is still trying to protect St. Lucian jobs and St. Lucian suppliers who supply in cement, etc. Galaxy buy from them and so on, instead of bringing in your own badge and your own ship and so on. Galaxy is saying, look, we know that, but it's difficult to get it because everywhere there's construction going on, so the cement is tight to get, the sand, whatever it is, and so on. Now what they're saying there, there's negotiation and discussion going all the time. Government want the project to speed up. Galaxy is saying, look, we can't speed it up if we're not getting as much cement and whatever we need on time, etc., etc. They are the kind of discussions that take place in an environment of government and investor, dealings and negotiations. Not for somebody to be, they're lying to you, I mean, come on. There are people who come and talk about jackasses braying, and it's a non-stop ho-hoing going on with them. They're joying off all the time, because they believe people don't understand. Let me finish the Galaxy press release. Finally, Galaxy is always available to assist the government and people of St. Lucia in whatever way possible. In the coming weeks, Galaxy will make some announcements to show its continued determination and commitment to St. Lucia and highlighting its contribution in making St. Lucia one of the best destinations in the world. Like I said, I find Galaxy took too long to do that. They need to do that. They need to more of it. They need to do it more often. Give updates and so on. It doesn't have to be every week, but every 3 months, whatever. Galaxy wants to say that work on this phase of its project has commenced, etc. Don't be seen to be aloof. Don't be seen to be distant. Don't be seen to be, you're a partner in it. As a partner in it, you should be a partner in the communication. And stop feeding this thing about our lawyers have told us not to. You should be able to sit with your lawyers to say, this is what we will say, this is what we should not say, this is what we don't want to say, this is what we ought not. There should be that kind of partnership. When you stay quiet like that, it makes you look shadowy. Just getting this and so on, even if it can be contested, disputed, but it brings a little breath of fresh air and relief. It doesn't make you seem to be shadowy and this kind of thing, which I don't think you are. It's the same way I've been saying with special prosecutor. I understand the sensitive nature of legal and judicial matters. But come on, don't tell me there isn't the political sensitivity to know how much the government staked and invested, on this whole matter of a special prosecutor. That what people are getting is an aloof silence for so long. They don't even know. A little statement to say, witness statements and depositions are being taken. People are being interviewed, whatever it is. We cannot disclose the identity of the people that we have, interviewed, whatever. Just something like that to satisfy the public, apprehension or the public, whatever it is. To just feed that and say, look, we are working. Don't worry about the silence. We are working all the time, etc., etc. There's just too much of this, what seems to be a contemptuous, disdainful aloofness, which lacks any kind of public sensitivity, much less political sensitivity to it and so on. But anyway, I'll leave that alone because I always go down roads. Someone messaged me and said Martinez's stunt has obviously failed. Last night he said he's not adding Ernest Hilaire, Lon, and Julian. Yeah, Julian Charles is the deputy chairman of the CIP, who signed the contracts or any agents. According to him, forget about the RICO. He has taken the matter to the DOJ, that's the U.S. Department of Justice, to deal with. When asked about whether the CIP or CIU CEO McLeod Emmanuel will be removed, he said, time will tell. We will see in a few weeks, alluding to the amendment deadline of December 13, 2024, where he obviously will have, if he can't come up with anything, have to remove McLeod Emmanuel from the list. So he doesn't want to come and admit that his case, or if he ever had one, has collapsed. But this man has been engaging the public tension and temperament and, for so long and so on, and we know who's putting him up to it. This thing was never going anywhere, and you heard me say that many times. But I want to sound a word of caution for people who, because they have some personal beef with Ernest Hilaire, some of whom may well be staunch supporters of the Labour Party, but they have some personal beef. And they were out there, fist in the air, pumped, raised, and so on about him. He's going to get it soon, You just wait for next week, for Tuesday, and you'll see what will happen and so on. Well, what has happened? What has happened? There's nothing new there. These agreements that they go in and publish and so on. Okay, you say there's lie. What turns on the lie? What loss are we suffering? Just like Martinez cannot tell us what loss he has suffered, especially with regard to St. Lucia, where he never had any business. Is somebody trying to pull the guy into a way to embarrass St. Lucia and the government of St. Lucia and to throw down the CIP in St. Lucia because they believe the CIP is too much of a cushion for the government, and that as long as the CIP is doing well, the government will do well, and it will doom and condemn them to remaining in opposition. This is the dirtiness that's going on in our country. Anyway, let me see that. Let me say good afternoon to a gentleman who yesterday had messaged me, and I didn't have time to get to his messages, where he said, Shelton, sorry I missed most of your show. By the way, the plainclothes policing was pure detective work, picking up hints on murders, rapes, and other difficult to obtain information. We need. I don't know, now that we are technologically advanced and sophisticated, we need to marry that. We need to join the technology and the modernity and the advancement and whatever to some old style dedication, to policing and so on. You join that with some good plainclothes stuff. Right now, the plainclothes and the unmarked police vehicle have, night vision equipment, the benefit of it, and equipment that can look through the cloudiness of your windshield or be able to take pictures through your tint and, whatever it is that they have. To join those two things together, we need the commitment and the dedication to policing and law enforcement. Thank you very much for that message. Another message came in saying, let me see, is that one that okay, I think this one more pertains to America's political situation. Someone says, Martinez should be arrested if he publicizes confidential documents from the CIP unit. But the question is, who's giving it to him? I understand that there's some people, again, people who have their little beef and their little gripe and grouse and so on, who have been taking CIP things and leaking them, dropping them because of nothing pertaining to the integrity of the program. They have some little beef of something they wanted or were demanding and they were denied and so on. This is just pure dirty stuff that's going on there. And when some of the names that were told me about the people who were doing this or were suspected of doing it, I had to shake my head and say, I would have never thought that they could be involved in that kind of thing. I know one particular person who has a gripe against Ernest Ile on very personal reasons and is really behind the scenes trying to pull strings and to see. But, this week so far must have been quite a smack in the eye for that individual. People, we have to stop doing this kind of things. And I'm not just talking about Labour Party people. We should not be doing dirty on people like that. Nevertheless, life is what it is. Let me see if I can get that. I got a message which says, Boys Training Center Awards honored with gala dinner on World Children's Day. And it's dated yesterday. In celebration of World Children's Day, the Boys Training Center, under the oversight of the Ministry of Equity, Social Justice and Empowerment, was the focus of a heartwarming initiative led by Bay Gardens Beach Resort. The resort hosted a gala dinner for the wards and staff, delivering on its commitment to corporate social responsibility. Alta King, duty manager at Bay Gardens Beach Resort, emphasized the importance of nurturing children's potential, stating, children of all backgrounds can indeed be the future of tomorrow. This dinner is our way of encouraging them to strive for their full potential and reminding them that their efforts are recognized and rewarded. End of quote. All right, okay. All right, thank you very much for that, John Emmanuel. Appreciate it very much. One thing, John is always on the ball in disseminating information. I'm trying to see what else is there that I can. All right, Terence Fendelno said, good morning, comrade. I am at Angers Secondary School this morning. It looks like I will be occupied for the entire day. I will miss the program today. And he says the guest who I intend to have tomorrow, if your guest pulls out, I'll be available. Okay, thank you very much, comrade. We will see. And I think there's a 40-second clip, Jaquan, There's a still shot showing, the students of the Angers school lined up. So we're going to show the still, and we're also going to play the video clip, yeah? If you can get it, the boys in blue shirts. All right, so let's see, where Terence Fenelon is. And, all right, is there any audio to it? It doesn't seem so, right?
Starts from the side.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here at the School of Innovation. It is happening. The consultant, Mr. Fenelon, is getting his first haircut at the School of Innovation. The students are here, they are ready. And we have the young man.
Starts from the side.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here at the School of Innovation. It is happening. The consultant, Mr. Fenelon, is getting his first haircut at the School of Innovation. The students are here, they are ready. And we have the young man.
All right, so Terence Fenelon, I can't wait to see your head, I can't wait to see your head. So hurry on here, some way or get from Angers and so on. And all right, okay, folks, just the things that, I want to show of initiatives that are taking place. So, the School of Innovation, training, young people, students and so on, the youth economy mindset, doing haircuts and so on, and I suppose how they can turn it into a means of, supplementing, whatever they have their livelihood, and, getting their practice on no less a person than the consultant, for the innovation, Mr. Terence Fenelon. I think we have something about enhancing public safety, which was, I believe was that also sent to me by John Emmanuel. Do we have a clip about enhancing public safety, Jaquan? Yeah, let's just play this one. I get a lot of those things, and sometimes I don't think I do a very good job, So let's just play this one about enhancing public safety, and it pertains to the government of St. Lucia having installed hundreds of CCTV cameras island-wide to enhance public safety, deter crime, and support law enforcement, working to create a safer St. Lucia for all. Do we have that one? Are we playing it now? All right, so, folks, things are happening in the country, lots of them. Someone said, I believe a certain animator can't wait to see his head too. Sorry, a certain church lady. Well, there could be a church animator, I think, in terms of, the service and whatever. I believe there's somebody here, somebody who has to do with animating, and an animator who maybe would like to not just see Terence Fenelon's head, but maybe Pasila Mayo too. But I'm not supporting this kind of thing, Vasila Moatet Namla. Another person says, as an ex-police officer, I agree with you about the different technologies we can use to lessen the volume of traffic offenses, but before some of these methods can be used, amendments must be made to the Traffic Act to give the authority for their use so that the foundation can be laid in court if any case of these offenses come before the court. Quite true, quite true. The legislative underpinning or basis for them has to be set. Good afternoon to you, Angie Kedu, the secretary in the constituency office of Honorable Moses Jean-Baptiste in Vieux-Fort North. She says, comrade, a little bit of humor. I thought I would see you with jackets, sweaters, since winter is upon us. Not me. You hear me complain about the heat too much, Angie. If I get in a little coolness now, I'm going to go and, ward it off or keep it at bay with any kind of jacket. Too much chalet over the last year and this year and so on. So, and nothing yet to make me begin to complain. But I have to tell you more and more, I'm putting my fan off in the night and doing without it and not sweating or anything. So I know there's a general downward trend in the temperature and so on. Someone says great things happen to northern people in the south. Is Angers in the south? Is Angers in the south or is Angers on the east coast? I don't know. All right. I'm getting ready to go to Animator funeral. Yes, church is where the name came from. All right, Animator. Very good. So go and animate the funeral. Don't go and make anybody who lying in the coffin get up, because a few more people will die from fright and so on, including myself if I even just hear about it. But I don't know you have any resurrection powers to you. She said, Shaz said it, bro. What's it about the winter and so on? Okay, thank you very much for clarifying that, Angie, that they were not your words, but that of someone called Shaz. Not sure if I know that person. I'm getting more messages. Yeah, okay. Someone wants me to add someone to the Real Issues WhatsApp group. Now, there is something pertaining to Botham Jean, and I really thought I had forwarded that to you, Jaquan. I'm sorry that I didn't. Let me see. It might be a little late now, but let me see if I can forward it to you. I don't know. Botham Jean's family speaks after jury awards them nearly $100 million. All right, and I think we're talking about US dollars there. So let me just scroll down, Jaquan, see if I can get you sometimes. Okay. All right, I'm forwarding it now. We probably won't have time to play it before the next break, but see if it came through, and if you get it, what we can do with it until then. I often don't like this kind of pauses. Yeah. And I also got from on the Real Issues WhatsApp group the 2024 cruise arrivals, highest arrivals ever, and we're still in the 2024 cruise season, aren't we? 459 cruise calls, 823,132 passengers, higher than the 2019 arrivals. All right. And it says record-breaking cruise arrivals in 2024, surpassing the record set in 2019. This milestone means more jobs, more opportunities, and a significant boost to our economy. And I can never forget many, many years ago, Lucien Joseph, the president of the National Taxi Union or Taxi Council, I can't remember, told me that when you hear taxi drivers are complaining about how bad things are, usually it's when it's outside the cruise season. Just let the cruise season start and all these complaints, they just go to nowhere. Botham Jean's family awarded $98,650,000 by jury in a wrongful death case after off-duty police officer Amber Geiger entered the wrong apartment and fatally shot him in 2018. So a little bit of justice in terms of recognizing, the pain and suffering. The loss of a human being can never be quantified or put as a monetary figure and so on. My friend Alison Jean, I am in a bittersweet way happy for you and Bertram and the rest of your family that at least there is the recognition that a hurt, a harm, a loss, grief that was inflicted upon you, that it is supposed to have a high compensatory value. And I would like to think that this in some way, it is a small way in the context of a loss of life. I'm sorry if you had to trade this for getting Botham back, you would gladly give up that and much more. But we know he cannot be brought back, so I am happy at least there is the acknowledgement of the depth of loss and suffering and pain that has been caused to you and your family by this matter. And to continue to congratulate you for what you have sought to convert it into, in terms of the Botham Jean Foundation, in terms of, doing something really that forms an outreach to other people who find themselves in situations that approximate or that resemble that kind of absolute heartbreak that will never go that you and Bertram and Brant and your daughter have had to face in this time since 2018. All right, so let's take a break, and when we come back, we probably will be in a position to play that video clip. Okay, this is The Real Issues.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosile Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains, and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains, and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild, the power to heal, the future of pain relief.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Okay, folks, let me say good afternoon to one of the members of the Real Issues WhatsApp chat group, Aaron Rasayan Alexander. And I think we all know him. And he says, if this is true, and he's talking about the award, the jury award to the family of Botham Jean, the late Botham Jean, he says, if this is true, it gives me renewed confidence that African descendants' fight for reparations will come true one day. We must keep up the fight for justice always. I think I would agree with that. It means justice can be done even if it is rejected, you know, the plea and the, in the case of reparations and all of that, the ridicule and all that it has suffered, that we must not give up. Good afternoon to Charms Gasper, who says, wow, this scene from that TVET school was so heartwarming. So many young people provided with the practical skills to be gainfully employed. Is this the look of a country in crisis, Alan Chasney? You will not get the opportunity to use our treasury as the empowerment card for you and your family and friends. Thank you very much. And I think I remember the name Charms Gasper as someone who was a public servant of some seniority, and I believe she was a notable official in the social services side of things, if I'm not mistaken, if I do remember correctly from my news days and so on. So appreciate this comment. Let's see if we have anything else. So let's go to the video clip of the Botham Jean award, and I think part of it is his mother, Senator Alison Jean, was speaking there. Okay. All right. If you don't quite have it, I thought during the break we would have had it. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. But it's on Fox. It's on Fox News online. It says Botham Jean's family awarded nearly $100 million in civil wrongful death case. It says a civil trial against former Dallas police officer Amber Geiger for the wrongful death of Botham Jean wrapped up on Wednesday. Jurors awarded Jean's family nearly $100 million in damages. Geiger is still serving a 10-year murder sentence and did not attend this trial. All right. The family knows they are unlikely to collect that full amount, but they believe the judgment is important for other reasons. Botham's family and their legal team say the jury of 6 men and 6 women sent a message to the world that Botham's life mattered and that law enforcement must be responsible. In what is likely the final chapter in this legal journey, the jurors found Geiger acted with malice or was reckless in the shooting of Botham Jean in 2018. The off-duty officer shot the 26-year-old after she mistakenly entered his apartment instead of hers at the Southside Flats. Geiger is currently serving a 10-year prison sentence for murder. The $98,650,000 awarded to the family exceeded the $54,408,000 sought by the family. I think it was very important for this jury to send a message that Botham's life is important, said the Jean family's attorney, Darrell K. Washington. We've gotten the question over and over, well, how are you guys going to collect from Amber Geiger? That was not important. What was important was holding Amber Geiger civilly liable for what she did to Botham. Botham's family broke out in a gospel song following the federal jury's decision. I am still heartbroken over the loss of my son, Botham Jean, Botham's father. Said, today I think justice was served and we are very thankful and we pray it will be a lesson for the authorities. It's been tiring for me to fly back to St. Lucia to Dallas so many times, but today's verdict really gives me some consolation that you saw the value of Botham, said Alison Jean, Botham's mother. Although Geiger was named as the defendant, she was not in court for this wrongful death lawsuit. She also had no legal representation. Both were at her request. The Jean family says that shows that Geiger still has not taken responsibility for her actions. As part of the judgment, the Jean family could get money from any Geiger book or movie deal. The city of Dallas was initially named as a defendant but was later separated from the lawsuit. Botham's family says money they do receive will go to helping others with the Botham Jean Foundation. Whatever we do will continue Botham's legacy, Allison said, and for me, that is my labor of love. Jurors heard closing arguments on Wednesday morning. Go ahead with it, yes.
Daryl Washington, an attorney, Bhavani Redrivan, who gives us hope for the future of civil rights in America as we face uncharted territory in America. Attorney Brooke Cluse, Attorney Gabrielle Higgins, Attorney Tony Romanucci, and all the great lawyers who have worked on this case, we stand proudly with this family, the family of Botham Jean, who was one of the best lights for the world. And before the lawyers address you, that being Attorney Washington, Attorney Bhavani, and finally you will hear from the family, and then we'll take your questions. They, for 6 years, have been trying to share with the world who Botham Jean was. All the activists who chanted, "Be like Bo." All those who came to the criminal trial. All those who were with us with the civil journey against the apartment complex. All the way to this day. His sister Alyssa, who cried herself to sleep many nights right, Reverend Bear, came to this moment to say everybody in Dallas, everybody in Texas, everybody in America get to see the light, which was Botham Jean. And even though he's not with us here today, this verdict tells us that his light still shines down on us in America and in St. Lucia and all over the world. And so, Attorney Darrell Washington, who was brilliant in his advocacy and arguments in the court, along with Pavani, along with Gabrielle Higgins, and along with Brooke Cluse.
And Colton.
And Colton. So Attorney Washington, you want to go first, and anybody will need to find for that.
Yeah, first of all, the family understands and realizes that no matter what we do, it's going to bring both of them back. But I think what the jury showed everybody today is that both in life matters. And this is what was important to the family. We've gotten to the question over and over, well, how are y'all going to collect from Amber Geiger? We got that question. That was not important. What was important was holding Amber Geiger civilly liable for what she did to Botham. I think this jury sent the message loud and clear that they are not going to tolerate police brutality. And I think that message is going to be heard not only in Dallas, not only in the state of Texas, but throughout this country. And that is important. Botham was in his house. Botham was eating ice cream and watching a football game. Botham was not committing a crime. He was not trying to harm anyone. You should be safe in your own home. And I think this jury made it very clear. Home is the place that we should feel protected. So we are very pleased. I think the family is pleased. I mean, Bo was the best of the best. And I'm going to tell you, one of the most difficult things about these cases is that we hear all these wonderful things about Bo, but we never get a chance to meet him. That's the thing that is just so very hard and so very sad. So we are very happy that this jury has spoken, and we're going to continue to work. But let me just be very clear, and I think this is a message that needs to be heard. We have spoken about qualified immunity for years, but I think we need to look at the issue of Monell liability. The city of Dallas hired Amber Geiger. The city of Dallas was responsible for training Amber Geiger. On the night that Botham was killed, the city of Dallas and the police officers protected Amber Geiger. But yet, when you have a situation like this, they kick police officers under the bus and they run away from the liability of this. That needs to change, and it will change.
Amen. Thank you very much, Darrell, for your brilliant advocacy. And I know you, Lee Merritt, and others for 6 years been fighting this battle.
Yes, absolutely.
And now for this young lady who just worked day and night and day, Bhavani Ravidran, with the Ramanucci Blandon Law Firm. It was a privilege to argue for Botham's life along with you.
I want to thank my law firm and especially Colton Johnson Taylor and our whole team back at the office who have been an amazing support. But more than anything, I want to thank this family for trusting us. Allison always said that she just wants more people to say Botham's name because it gives her joy. And thanks to you all and the coverage that we get, thanks to this judge and this jury and the people of Dallas that came here to jury selection and put their trust in this family, his name is going to live on. It's going to be known and remembered with this number. And we hope you can all take a little bit of the joy and the love and the light that Botham was home with you, because I will remember this case and this family for my life.
Thank you so much, Bhavani. The final attorney you will hear from is Attorney Brooke Cluse, who, when we heard the verdict announced, $98,650,000. She went into a gospel hymn saying, "Victory is mine." So, Attorney Close.
Thank you, Attorney Crow. On behalf of the Jean family and the attorneys that prosecuted this case, we just want to say thank you to the jury. They valued Botham's life, which we know there is no dollar amount that could bring back or even value such a wonderful human being. But they saw value in his life, and we just want to thank them for that.
Thank you so much, Attorney Close. I would be remiss if we didn't have the youngest lawyer of the team, who was also brilliant, Attorney Gabrielle Higgins, address you before we hear from this beautiful family.
Thank you all so much for coming. I think the hardest thing for the jury to do is to place a number, a monetary amount on the value of life. But this process, the honor of representing this family, has given the city of Dallas another opportunity to see the life of Botham Jean and the light that that life has brought to all of us. And we are so very grateful for that. We are fighting every day at Bancroft Law to raise the value of life, to raise the value of Black life. And we believe that this jury has the courage to do that today, and we're so grateful for that. We're wearing red because that was his favorite color. And I think that it's important that we continue to allow the legacy of Botham to live on, not just here, but all over this country. And we do that by fighting the good fight. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gabrielle. And first we will hear from Botham's father, Mr. Bertram, and then the final word will come from his mother, Miss Allison, and then we will take your questions. Mr. Bertram.
Good afternoon. It is amazing. Today is a great day for us, for my family and I want to say thank you first to our attorneys who fought a good fight and we finished the cause. Today it is a day that I am a bit consoled. I am still heartbroken over the loss of my son. A city, Dallas, where he said he loved so dearly. However, he lost his life right in that city. But today I think justice was served, and we are very thankful, and we pray that it will be a lesson for the authorities. But we just happy today that justice was served. Life goes on. We will miss our Bo dearly. I can understand the thought of him not being around, but his memories, the wonderful things he did in this life, this gives me joy. And know that he was loved by so many, this gives me joy. So I'm just grateful for what happened today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bertram. And then for the woman who has been the rock throughout this whole ordeal, not only for her family, but also for her legal team, who we feel like family. Miss Allison, we love you, and victory is ours today. Miss Allison.
I just got some text messages from Botham's grandmother, and one says, "Touch not the Lord's anointed, nor do his prophets any harm." That's how my mom feels today. She said, "I'm sad, but I'm glad." The verdict today symbolizes what the jurors saw as the value that Botham brought to this world. They had to put it in monetary terms. I cannot feel it in monetary terms because I know how precious he was to me. But it sends a signal to the world that his life mattered.
Yes.
And this is the value that Botham could have brought to you in Dallas. He could have brought to us in St. Lucia. So even from his family perspective, we knew that value. And I believe that value is much more. but at least you would understand what he meant to the world. Botham left our tiny island St. Lucia to seek better opportunities in the United States. He came to Dallas, a city which he loved, but Dallas was unkind to him. And so what I would like to leave with you is find out from your city how valuable each and every one of you is, because they need to demonstrate that value by the laws that they have, how they treat their people. Because leaving Dallas, Botham left us at the hands of an employee of the city. But that city goes away scot-free. Will they do it right? Will they do something about it? It doesn't have to be for Botham. But let's look deep. You see, sometimes we look at things on the surface, but we have to go down to the foundation and the fundamentals to ensure that you are yourself safe and that you will get value if something happens to one of your family members. At the criminal trial, I left you with one thing, Dallas. I go back to my country, St. Lucia, but you live in Dallas. And so when you go to your city council, when you go to your other authorities, what is the message that you're going to send to them to ensure that your family, if something happens to that family, that they will play it right by you? I want to thank my attorneys who have been with me throughout the 6 years. I want to thank...
All right, folks, we decided to just, leave it at that point because it is a 30-minute, full half-hour video. But really wanted to play at least a part of it and fittingly to end with Senator Dr. Alison Jean, mother of the late Botham Jean, and, to continue to wish them well moving forward. Moving past it is impossible, but at least to move forward and to keep going. All right. There's a very important notice that I believe has tremendous, not just public interest, but public safety value. And it comes from the Department of Infrastructure, Ports and Transport, and it says active construction zone on West Coast Road, cul-de-sac to Soufrière town. That's a very long journey. If a lot of, even in the best of times, twisting, winding, sharp bends and corners road, active construction zone on West Coast Road, cul-de-sac to Soufrière town. The Department of Infrastructure, Ports and Transport wishes to notify the motoring public that the entire length of the West Coast Road from cul-de-sac to Soufrière town is an active construction zone. For the next 12 months, there will be heavy-duty construction equipment, open trenches, unpaved and slippery road surfaces, higher than normal levels of dust and construction workers along the route. Drivers are asked to proceed with extreme caution, follow all warning signs, observe the directions of traffic wardens, and remain vigilant. It is recommended that speeds do not exceed 20 kilometers per hour. Folks, I don't think it can be more explicit. It can be more detailed. It can be more graphic than this. You have been warned. Please pay attention to this. And if there are some people who are not in the habit of listening to the radio or notices, paying attention to them, do them a favor, do us all a favor. Tell them that if they are driving along the West Coast Road from cul-de-sac all the way to the town of Soufrière, be extremely careful from now onward, because there will be heavy duty construction equipment, open trenches, unpaved and slippery road surfaces, higher than normal levels of dust and construction workers along the route. Drivers are asked to proceed with extreme caution, follow all warning signs, observe the directions of traffic wardens, and remain vigilant. It is recommended that speeds do not exceed 20 kilometers per hour. All right. Now, let us divide 20 kilometers. A kilometer is 5/8 of a mile. So that is 2.5 multiplied by 5. So I think they're telling you do not travel at more than about 12 miles an hour. You know, if I'm not mistaken, about 12 miles an hour. Do not drive faster than that in those areas. Now that is very slow. 20 kilometers per hour. I mean, a kilometer being 5/8 of a mile. You know, let me just cross that. 8 into 20 is 2.5, isn't it? 2.5 multiplied by 5, Jaquan. That's 10. Okay? That's 12.5 miles an hour. So I'm just rounding it down to about 12 miles an hour. Drivers are also encouraged to report unsafe situations to the following contact, which is Mrs. Tara Leonard Emmanuel, who is the Community Liaison Officer for the road construction project. Her telephone number, they're giving you a mobile number for her, is 7198267. That's the number for Mrs. Tara Leonard Emmanuel, Community Liaison Officer for the West Coast Road Construction Project. Her phone number, 7198267. People, take this thing very, very seriously. I think we've already had 22 road fatalities for the year so far, you know. And I mean, that's about 2 people dying in road accidents every month of the year. I wish it were not so, but it's almost as if you have to tell yourself you can almost be sure there'll be more before the year is really over. I hope it were not true, but the way things are going, we already have enough problems where the crimes and the homicides are concerned. I think we can do more to save lives, to save limbs, to save property, to prevent people, you know, losing a leg here and being paralyzed there and needing a wheelchair here and crutches there and so on. We can do differently. Let us try to do so. Or you said, Jaquan, just consider that, you know, no calls for today. I mean, the time that we have left, I think we have to just consider that, you know, the calls for today. But of course, if you call, I'll take the call. We still have about 2 more minutes left. All right, 2 more minutes, 487-9849 and also 4533-911. All right, we can take a couple of calls, but you'll have to be very quick about it. All right. Okay. Yeah, let me say good afternoon to Mr. Victor Girard. Thank you so very much, Mr. Girard, for always staying with us for the real issues and giving us your little feedback. Really appreciate this. Let me say good afternoon to a few people on the Facebook Live. Joan Edward. Bernard Haynes says, I don't care how New York looks, but my hometown has to be different. I couldn't agree more, Bernard. This is quite true. Jude Pokes, hello. Good afternoon to you. And by the way, thanks for checking up on me to see that I was okay. Really appreciate that, Jude. Bernard Haynes says, Shelton Daniel, my vocabulary is improving every day I listen to you. Thanks, you have me blushing. Perpetua Howell says, the disinformation stuck in 2016, the fact that they're in opposition again, they believe it's going to happen again. We are now aware, so the glue is oiled and can stick. All right, she adds, the mind-bending tactic is no longer working. Our minds turned hard as iron under PJP. I would hope so. You know, this kind of thing that is going on with that CIP thing and you know, contradictory things and Galaxy has become the worst thing that ever happened. You brought Galaxy, you give them basis for all. I'm trying to confuse people's minds. I'll say again, you know, that the files and the shares represent money that's being given away to them. That's not true. It's not true at all. Good afternoon to you, Miguel Favria and Anna Rose Anemone. I think Bernard Haynes was trying to call, but I think we're out of time, Bernard, so maybe we can make a better maybe tomorrow, although I'll be having a guest from 1 o'clock, but the first half hour I'll try to leave it open for calls. So folks, Shelton Daniel for now, signing out, and thank you very much, Jaquan. God willing, all things equal, we'll do this again tomorrow from 12:30 to 2 on Real FM Radio, MBC Television, Facebook Live and YouTube live streaming. Bye for now.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
The winning numbers for the midday draw of Thursday, 21st November 2024 were Double Daily Grand 6, 9, 17, 21. Big 4, 1, 9, 1, 5. The Big 4 multi-X drawn is 2X. Pick 2, 3, 0. The Pick 2 multi-X drawn is 2X. 1 off, 3, 4, 8. Lucky 3, 3, 8, 4. The Lucky 3 multi-X drawn is FP.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet